They have carried a burning sense of injustice for more than a quarter of a century. These were the remarkable scenes outside the coroner's court when the Hillsborough families were finally told they were right all along. Ordinary people who had to fight the system for the reputation of those they'd lost, shedding a different sort of tears.
I've never been so happy to see so many women crying, I think is the answer. We've had people say they're feeling a bit dizzy with it all, really. I mean, obviously it's took us 20 odd years to get here.
The jury said a great many people contributed to the Hillsborough disaster. The police, who'd allowed the Leppings Lane end to become fatally overcrowded, then responded slowly to an unfolding tragedy. The ambulance authority and the stadium also took blame, but not the Liverpool fans, despite a smear campaign against them. Each one of the 96 victims was unlawfully killed, the inquest ruled. They were not the ones at fault. The atmosphere outside and inside the courtroom was like nothing hardened observers have seen before. When the jury foreman replied yes to the key question, were the 96 unlawfully killed, families sitting around me burst into tears. There were loud shouts of hallelujah. There was a similar response when the jury determined that the fans had played no part in the disaster, and when the jury foreman finally sat down, the families stood up and applauded all they'd heard. Listening to those verdicts, the McGlone family. Alan McGlone was one of those who died in the crush. His daughter Amy today clutching the money recovered from his body as she welcomed overdue justice.
I'm just glad that the truth's out there now and we can hopefully try and get on with our lives. I'm just sorry it took 27 years.
It's 27 years today to Alan's funeral.
Exactly 27 years ago today. You buried Alan.
Yeah.
I hope he's watching.
You can rest now.
From the police force that failed the fans that day and since, an apology today for the families.
South Yorkshire Police got the policing of the FA Cup semi-final at Hillsborough catastrophically wrong. Today, as I have said before, I want to apologise unreservedly to the families and those affected.
Hillsborough survivor Paul Dunderdale does not accept that apology. He is seen here being lifted from the pens where his best friend died. Afterwards, the statement he gave South Yorkshire Police was altered, as many were. So sorry isn't enough.
It's a bit hollow. The apology doesn't really mean a lot to me. The cover-up and the evidence tampering and the things that went with that's, for me, caused an immense amount of pain.
For many, like Margaret Aspinall, this was the second inquest to be endured. She was among the first to condemn the 1991 verdict of accidental death.
The whole lot of it was a farce from day one till it finished.
Today, the formidable chairwoman of the family support group was happier.
Well, that wasn't a farce, was it? The jury got it right this time, and you couldn't help but applaud them as they were going out.
Like so many, her first thought was of the son James, who she lost that day.
And I just prayed to James and the other 95. Please God, son, I want you to sleep well for the first time. I want you to rest in peace now.
After so many painful years, the campaign call that began as a demand had become a statement of their achievement. Paul Davis, News at 10, Warrington.